I'm actually on my way into Northfield Park. It's about 20 after 9. A little late start today. I figured since I literally clocked between driving horses, the car, and racing 19 hours on a Sunday, that I probably should just get a couple of little moments to myself on Monday morning, because I have to drive to Ontario this afternoon. The sale in London is tomorrow. Both and I appreciate all the notes and hip numbers for London. I looked at all of them, obviously. I think most of the people messaging me, we're kind of in lockstep. You guys know what we're looking for, and it's kind of right on your lists also. Probably in almost every email that I receive from somebody is my top 1 or 2 picks. And people have asked me, well, can you price them? Well, I can't do that until I look at the horses, until I'm physically looking at the horses, and at that point I'd be happy to price them. Historically, gotta stop saying that. It's been difficult to find, let's say, significant bargains at London. The cattle washes and the bulldogs are going to sell high. That's a certainty. The green Manalishis and the King of the Norths are going to sell high. Again, that's a certainty. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't price a horse at fair market value and pay close to that. I'm just not paying plus 10, plus 20%. It just makes no sense to me. So I do believe, though, we can come out of London with at least 1, if not 2, of the horses we're looking for. Now, a pacing colt is on the top of our list, and also a trotter of some regard. I suspect a colt. We got Making Green is a nice colt, obviously 10%, less than 10% of what we paid for Highland Fire and Ice. So I guess the realistic proposal would be to buy another colt, not a filly. But depending on what's there, who knows? I think it's all on the table tomorrow, so we'll see how that plays out. In regards to any Monday morning thoughts, I talked to Dr. Latessa. He was working on Yo Mister today. A lot of our clients asking what's up with him. Stacy had set him up here. Just a fresh set of eyes to look at him. He's always been that rickety, rusty kind of going type horse, and I think this is just maybe a step further than that. So she just wants to get him looked at. As I said, fresh set of eyes, see how he feels. Dr. Latessa feels he's a pretty good handle on what's going on, what his issues are, and we have an idea of how we're going to attack those issues. So we'll see how that plays out. Also, with respect to Yo Mister, just trying to think if there's any other issues. I talked about Jolene Hall yesterday. She's all done for the year. We did not scope her. We did not draw blood. I don't need to. Her line says it all, and a very, very likable filly. And I had a great conversation with somebody yesterday. One of our clients, and he had said, it just seems like Jolene Hall doesn't have a very powerful, strong gait, and it just seems like that after the middle of the summer, where she went those couple of good miles in Lexington, she just didn't seem like the same horse. Are you sure this is a filly you want to keep over? So my answer to our client is the same one I give all our clients. So I'll front that by saying Jolene Hall is going nowhere. She's staying with us 100%. The idea, I always love having these conversations with our clients, because it seems like everybody's looking for that specific thing, right? That fluid trotter, that special cross in the pedigree, or that presence in the paddock. And it's all human nature. Of course you're looking for those things. I don't care about any of it, to be honest, because the things that you're most interested in and that we all are looking for and seeking in a horse, you can't measure. Heart, lungs, and determination. You can't measure any of it. We want correct horses because, in likelihood, they are the ones that are going to be able to accelerate forward. We want that pedigree because that's an indicator they should be able to come forward. We want that big athletic body. That's what I'm after all the time, as I say to you, because, again, that is something that would lead you to believe this could be a true competitive athlete. But none of them are. You can't tell. So the idea that Jolene Hall doesn't have some sort of gait, Jolene Hall tried at 55 a couple of times, raced great almost every start, made that break in Delaware was much more crippling than I thought. And I don't mean literally, I mean metaphorically, in the sense that kept her out of the consolation of the Buckeye. She probably would have been 1-2 that day in Delaware. I got a lot of respect for this filly. One, she does have deep pedigree, but the idea that somehow her gait is inefficient. Some of the horses that I have the most respect for had some of the most inefficient gaits in racing. But they were strong, they were tough, and they wanted to compete. Those are the biggest things. So the idea that we're going to look at these 2-year-olds and say, well, this one doesn't have a very good gait, or this one, all I care about is, do you want to be a better horse than you are today, tomorrow? That's it. Do you want to work harder tomorrow than you did today? Do you want to compete? Do you want to go out and beat other horses? These are the things that I'm looking for. Because if the answer to those is yes, 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 well, we just got to put the horse in the right place, don't we? So, and that's not meant, that note is not meant in any sort of way other than a positive way. Just gleaning a little bit of how I feel about horses. I don't care once we buy them and we get them on the track, like, oh, this one. Now, if they're interfering and they're sour and they're just being rude, well, that's different. We had a couple of horses in January that we just moved them on. They're gone. You're not gonna make the list. But if you go out there and you want to compete and you put in an honest workout day in and day out, your spot should be safe on the roster. Is that really any different than any other sports team? I don't think so. So to all our clients out there saying, oh, well, we kept this one over or that one over. Oh, we kept Emerald Tom over. How come? Because Emerald Tom wants to go forward. So he trotted in 56. He's never had a fluid gait, but that doesn't mean it won't clean up at 3. Globetrotting never had a clean gait until 4. She made plenty of breaks and was always bumpy, getting into herself and hitting herself. Didn't bother me at all. You know why? Because it didn't bother her at all either. And then as she got older, we actually were able to take the hobbles off her. In a month span, I believe she won in 52 flat without and with hobbles on. So I hope that, listen, I'm not trying to change the way you think. Hey, it's your money, and you can spend it exactly how you feel, wherever you feel. When it comes to our barn, we're going to do the best we can, and I guess all of that, and I assume this is assumed anyway, but I guess I never should. That's always through the lens of value. How are we going to find the most value? How are we going to get the best bred horses with the best conformation for the least amount of money? And that's what I'm always looking to do. You know, and this is exactly why. So I was talking to Scotty about Maury and about Zena Kemp yesterday, and then we were just talking about horses, and we went down the list of the horses that were in with Degas. 550, 400, 3 1/4, 205, 105, 72. The second, I think maybe second or third cheapest horse purchase-wise in with Degas yesterday was Degas at $52,000. The Bratitude filly, $550. The amount of money spent on those horses. So what I'm getting at is those are people that are very, very smart people. And if they don't know which one's which, how the hell am I supposed to? So I'm going to make it real easy. This is why I try to break it down as simple as I can when I go to a sale. That's why I price every single horse, and that's why we stick to that price. Because I believe if we find value in the sales, no matter where we get it from, that is the best way to shop. Because I have no idea which one's going to be the good one and the bad one. Neither do you, and neither does any other trainer on planet Earth. Or that race right there in Corbin would have been a 3-horse field instead of an 8-horse field. So there you have it. I hope I answered all that. And that statement and that 4 minutes of discussion should encapsulate all the questions and answer all those questions that people have regarding regarding a number of horses in the barn. There you have it. Now, I don't think there's many other updates, actually, quite frankly, if I was to think of it. Not a ton of updates so far. If you're looking for an update and I just can't put my finger on it today, just shoot me a message, say, hey, what about this horse, what about that horse, and I'll be happy to let you know. I can tell you that both Perfect Thought and Jailbird Jog are sharp, feeling good, sound, and ready to rock for Friday. Scotty and James are very familiar with the horses. Obviously, Megan and Scotty had Perfect Thought all season long, and James has been in very close contact with Jailbird Jog. The way I left it with James, and I'm on my way over, I'm going to ask him if he wants to go to supper before he goes to the races tonight. The way I left it with James is, it's your driving the Breeders' Crown. No one except for Jason in Canada has ever seen this filly before. So why don't you do this? Why don't you go to the burn every day, jog the filly, get to know her quirks, right? Take her blood, get the blood work taken, look at it yourself. You know, talk to the veterinarian, Dr. McKee, yourself also, with Jason and Dominic and Michelle. This is an entire burn collaboration with this filly. And not only is it a big deal, but it's good for the burn too. You know, I look at all these guys down there yesterday, guys that I have tons of respect for and always will have respect for. And some of them don't have any horses in the Breeders' Crown. And we're lucky enough to have two. And as I still sit here and say to myself, geez, you know, we broke 43 last year and only 2 made it to the Breeders' Crown. That one drives me to do better. And 2, there's that other voice saying, do you know how stupid you sound right now? You know how many people would love to have those 2 horses? So as we start into the sale season, or I guess finish up the sale season 2025, again, when I tell you how excited I am about 2026, mostly because I have people telling me how well we did at the Lexington sale, I look at the horses jogging, the Ohio breds, even the Michigan breds, all the horses that we have in here, Highland Fire and Ice, Making Green, the Ontario breds, everybody we have in here. I am excited about 2026. So enough about the babies for now. I'm going to run through the races yesterday. I talked to you guys yesterday about the afternoon racing. I was very happy with Woodmere Betcha. She looked a lot more fluid, a lot more confident. She was in an attacking mode, which is good and hard to find in a horse that's had made breaks and been off and running in all year long. To it be the end of the season and for her to race as well as she did, well, that's a feather in the cap of Jamie Smith, and I think everybody should pay attention to it. That is not an easy thing to do. So great job by Jamie. Jolene Hall, as I said, that's not her fault. She's sick. Just turn her out. She's going out in the field. How would we be able to get her healthy and have her ready to trot in 55 on a 5/8 mile track in 6 days? It's impossible. Even if they skipped a week, it's impossible. Now, Degas, on the other hand, off a month, first over into a tough pace. This filly is a nice filly. I'm telling you what. I'm not just saying that because we have her and whatever, just because she's such a sweetheart to drive and she just wants to compete. Everything about this filly I love. I wish we could duplicate this. The only reason I bid on chimpanzee horses this year at Lexington was because of Degas. You know, I'll be the first to admit, the other ones we had kind of let us down, didn't they? Not this filly. She has been a very, very nice filly from day one, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with her in 2026. Now, Rock Shining Star, for my partners out there, he did scope sick. It's tough, and it is viral because there's no indications the horse are sick. Even today, I said, how was Rock Shining Star today? No temperature, no coughing, ate his breakfast, yet last night he scoped full of mucus. So, the one thing Ronnie did say, he said, I could tell he was sick. Obviously he was sick. He said, I will tell you this, he got around the half just fine. He said, that's why I said when I drove him in the mud here 3 weeks ago, I thought he got around here great. He said, if you're telling me he was sick, he'll be fine in those classes because he was only just off, like two lengths off. And if he scoped full of mucus, well, it is what it is. Greatest ending was great. I get picked off. You know, I thought my biggest concerns in the race, and I didn't read the room properly. My biggest concerns in the race were Aaron and Ronnie. When Justin stretched me 27, he stretched me good, 1, to soften me up, and 2, because he didn't want me to clear to the front and then have to deal with Kurt and just let Kurt go, right? Which I never would have done. So It just is what it is. I cleared to the front with greatest ending, but he's not a horse you can just steal a fraction with him. You can't steal a half with him. You're better just to let him roll. 54-2, 54-3, off a quarter in 27 seconds. For him, isn't the end of the world. 55 flat would have been perfect. 54-2 is fine. And he paces the turns good. Straightaways, he gets out a bit and gets just a hair out of gear. So I wanted to put him in gear starting into the backstretch. Again, I'm thinking Kurt Suggs parked. I've just sucked the life out of Justin a little bit. I'm going to finish him off. Aaron and Ronnie are going to be mired in traffic. See you later. And I just let him rock down the backstretch. And as it turns out, Justin, although he was done, wasn't really done, was he? 122-4. And greatest ending didn't walk. I'm 30 seconds. After being parked at the quarter in 27 flat, out 2 turns, he just gets nipped at the wire in 52-3. The horse raced absolutely tremendous. I'm sure I'm going to get messages from people saying, Anthony, Foxy Seaside again just didn't look like she could compete. You know, are we going to sell her? So I'll end this the way I started it. We have the private market for everyone out there. And I did notice, I don't watch the private market very often, but I do get emails when they'll come in when shares are sold. So-and-so has sold a share to so-and-so for this price. Well, I can tell you one thing. Every person that bought shares in Foxy Seaside last week and the week before paid more than we were offered on preferred. And I'm not selling her for that. So at any point, if anybody wants to sell their shares, they can. This filly is not going to race good from post 8 at all. She lost a shoe last night. You know, again, she's not the horse you just get away 8th. They go half in 59 in front of her, 58-3. So I'm at the half in what? A minute and a fifth. And then they go in 56 on a half-mile track at midnight. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. So for our clients out there, you just gotta have to be patient because this is like 3 8-holes in her last 5 starts, or 2 8s and a 9. She just hadn't hit, her Manhattan Money haven't had a chance to draw at all. So, what do we do with Foxy Seaside? Wait until she draws good. Maybe even close her up a little bit when she does draw on the gate. Let her rock her next start. And for those of you who maybe went off the Foxy Seaside Express, there shouldn't be a problem because the offer's out there for the filly. I love the filly. I'm not selling her. I like her as is for now. You know, if this turns into a slide and a cascade where she just starts to slide down the hill and it becomes sell her or turn her out and I have to make a decision at that point, fine. But I don't see we're even close to that point. So I'm sure there's more than enough people out there that will accommodate purchasing those shares. So Foxy Seaside, I didn't expect much last night from post 8. I did expect her to keep all 4 shoes on. That did not happen. But I did not, I wasn't surprised, nor was I disappointed. She's not the type of horse to get away 8th and just circle the field. She got away 8, followed the field, paced what, 57 and a bit, 58 off a half in a minute. That's just the way it is. So we'll judge her. I'll defer any of my judgment until we get a favorable draw on the gate with Foxy Seaside. Now that was Foxy. Where are we at here? Memento Mori races today. Scotty's going to go last trip with him in Cumberland Run. I don't know if the deep track is going to be a detriment for him. I'm almost done making excuses. It just is what it is with Memento Mori. He was doing okay at the Meadows. The class started to get a little tough, and I decided to make a change, move him back home. Now, the one thing that Eric said is he did put a lot of weight on, so great job by Dom and Teresa and everybody over there. That was our number one goal, is to put the weight back on the horse. If he's not going to be competitive at Cumberland Run, then we'll just run him right back up to the Meadows and he can race there. Zena Kemp tomorrow. I know Eric said she's still on that right line running in a bit. She always has for the most part. So I had told Scotty yesterday, just race her accordingly. Right? Just race filly accordingly. She's going to run in a little bit. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just race her. I'm going to be here for when I'm going to make it my way back from Ontario to Northfield tomorrow after the Sale to Drive, Winter Soldier, and Blue Ventura. So there you have it. I think I got most of the updates. Again, if I missed your horse or you weren't clear about what's going on with the horse, just drop me a line. I'll be happy to update you. But for right now, I think we are all moving in the right direction. Very happy, as I said, with the emails and the texts and the phone calls regarding the London sale, regarding the Harrisburg sale. They are both coming up quickly. We are looking to put both of them in a rearview mirror and get moving into, and you know, it's almost here. It is. The day after Halloween, Christmas season is here. So we'll get rid of that vile holiday. It's not a holiday. It's just that's how useless the day is. It isn't even a holiday. It's just a day. The kids are excited. Everybody knows what they want to be for Halloween. I'm going to try and be happy for Halloween. And then November 1st, well, that's Christmas season. Anyway, take care, everybody. Hope you're having a great start to your week. I hope you had a great weekend. I know the Jays lost, and a bunch of messages, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they lost. Let's see how they do tonight. Go Jays.